You're supposed to see it.
Frog.
No, what's your favorite animal though?
Frog. Frog. Frog.
No, you're just saying that. What's your favorite animal? Is it a cheetah or an elephant?
Frog.
Or
I
a
like
monkey?
monkeys.
I like monkeys
Frog.
too.
Frog. 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 Frog.
Is it really a frog?
Yep.
Well, one of my favorite animals is a frog. And so my story today is
It's
all
about
about
the frog.
frogs. You know what frogs sound like?
Ribbit.
Yeah,
Ribbit.
like
Ribbit. Ribbit.
Well, this is, okay, come back, Landon. We're actually going to do an activity and you'll get to move around, but you have to come back first because we're going to learn all about the life cycle of a frog. What does it mean, the life cycle of a frog? You know what that means? You know what that means? What is a life cycle?
Shoe? Jacket?
A life cycle is like how the frog grows from when it's a little baby to when it's an adult frog. So this book is going to help us learn all about the life cycle of a frog. So meet the frogs. There are many different kinds, boys. There are many different kinds of frogs all over the world. And this frog lives in trees. It's called a tree frog.
That one is slobbery. What's that one?
I don't know what kind of frog that one is, but frogs are amphibians. They're called amphibians. And that means they spend part of their life in the water and part of their life on land.
I found one frog.
This frog actually is
I found a frog.
it's called the common frog.
Ow!
If you boys can't sit next to each other, I'll have to move you, please. The frog begins their life as a teeny tiny little egg in the water. Are you born in the water?
No! No!
But is a frog though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. These frogs are laid in masses of eggs in a pond. You know what this is a picture of?
Baby one.
These are what frog eggs look like. What do they kind of look like?
I can look on Wildcraft.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
They
Wildcraft.
kind of look like eyeballs, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what frog eggs look like. So if you see a mass like this, and it kind of looks like jelly in the water, it's probably a bunch of fish eggs. They're really, really cool to look at, actually. But there's like a ton of them in there. Fish and other animals like to eat the eggs, but hundreds of eggs will survive. So there's probably hundreds of baby frogs in here, and probably some of them will get eaten by other animals, but a lot of them will survive too. Finally, the tadpoles hatch from the eggs. And this is what a little tadpole looks like.
I can't even see.
I know, it's really dark.
But you can't color it different. It's black.
Here's the head of a tadpole right here. Many tadpoles are eaten by water insects and other animals.
Scooch back, I think.
Sit on your butts. The ones that survive eat tiny plants and then grow bigger and stronger. There's a better
What's that
picture of one. These are both tadpoles.
Cool.
But this
What's
one,
that frog?
so a tadpole starts off and it just has a tail. They start with just a tail and then they grow their back legs.
I can quit being
A frog?
A baby frog because he didn't have a way to do it. I see a frog.
Well, this frog,
So
this frog has a tail and its back legs, and next after its back legs, it grows front legs. So then it ends up having four legs.
Front legs.
See, here's its back legs, and then its long tail, and then finally it grows in
Front leg.
with front legs, back legs, and a tail.
I had to walk.
And then, what happens with their tail? Do you see frogs jumping around with long tails?
No.
No. What do you think happens to their tail?
Gone.
It actually like sucks its tail into its body. That's like you having an arm and you sucking your arm into your body. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of cool though. See, now it's getting shorter. See, it was really, really long. And then he just sucks his tail back into his body. And so then, when you see a little frog hopping around outside, it doesn't have any kind of tail. It just has its four legs.
Because it is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Look at all the frogs in this picture.
How big is, what's that frog?
Does it say what kind of frog that one is? It doesn't say what kind it is. So I'm not sure. One of my favorite frogs though is called the green frog. And I have a really cool picture of a green frog that I'll show you in a second. When a frog is hungry, she sits very still and waits. Then she uses her long, sticky tongue and she catches an insect. Have you ever seen a frog do that? Stick its tongue out and grab a fly?
I have.
This is a grass snake. And a grass snake is a predator. Do you know what a predator is?
No.
It's something that eats something else. So a snake is a predator for a frog because a snake eats frogs. Did you know that?
No. Nope. Frog.
When winter comes and weather turns very cold, the frog looks for a safe hole by the pond. She will stay there and hibernate.
What's hibernating?
Do you know another animal that hibernates?
A bear.
A bear.
That means that you stay in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
So did you know that frogs hibernate just like a bear does?
And
Because in the wintertime, do you see frogs?
No.
You don't really see frogs hopping around in the snow, do you? Because they're hibernating just like a bear is.
Yeah.
So they dig themselves into the dirt and they kind of hide in the dirt underneath the snow.
Rabbit can hop around snow.
Yes, rabbits can, yep. So then in the spring, they wake. Then in the spring, the frog wakes up and is very, very hungry. So she crawls out of her hole that she dug and leaps off to find food. A frog's life is very dangerous. Birds, fish, and other predators feed on the fish eggs, tadpoles, and other frogs. Some frogs live up to be 10 years old. Are you even 10 years old?
No.
No, you
I'm
guys are
5.
like 5, right? Yeah.
I'm
So
4.
frogs grow up to be
I'm 4.
10 years old. That's pretty old for a frog.
I'm 5 too.
So now, I want to show you some really cool pictures of frogs that I have. So my favorite kind of frog is called a green frog, and they're pretty big frogs. But this is what they look like.
That one has a circle on it.
It does, and that is actually the frog's ear. And the actual name of it is I'm going to say it wrong. It's a membrane. They call it a membrane. But what I'm going to show you, which is really cool, is how would you tell the difference between a male frog and a female frog? I'm going to show you what the difference is. What do you think is different between these two frogs? One is a girl and one is a boy.
Because they have different stuff. Because that belongs to that one. These has different ears.
They do.
That one is small and this one is big.
You're right, Michael, and that is actually the reason why, is because a female or a girl frog has a really small ear, a really small circle behind its eye. And the male frog or a boy frog has a really, really large one. So if you see two frogs like this, and one has a small ear and one has a big ear, most likely one is a boy and one is a girl. Do you guys all have different ear sizes?
I got a big one.
You all do. Your ears are all different, but that doesn't mean that you're a boy or a girl. But for frogs it does, which is really, really cool. So now I'm going to show you also. So what was this a picture of from the story?
Eggs. Eggs.
These are the fish eggs, and they look kind of like, what do they look like? Eyes. Yep, they look like eyeballs, kind of. So this was how a frog started off. This was how a frog started, was as an egg. Then it grew into a tadpole, which looked like this. So it had its little tail. Did it have legs yet?
No.
No, just a tail. Then after that, it grew its back legs. So it had just back legs. And then
Front legs.
front and back, and it still has its tail. And what does it do with its tail?
It's like it right in the body.
Right into its body, and then it becomes and it becomes an adult frog. So now I want you to stand up, and we're gonna go through the life of a frog. So first, the frog starts off as a little tiny egg. So I want you to be a little egg. Be a little egg on the ground. You're just starting off as a little egg. And then after the egg, what happens?
Go your back legs. Back legs.
Oh, not the back legs.
Tail.
It's tail. So now you have to grow a tail. So stand up. You don't have any front legs. You don't have any front feet. So put your feet together. Stand up, Addison. But you have a tail. So you have a little tail in the back. And then you're called a tadpole. And you can swim around with your little tail. Can you swim around with your little tail? And so then after you grow your tail, what do you grow next?
Back legs.
Do you grow front or back legs?
Back.
Your back legs. So now you have back legs. So now you can kind of hop, and you can still swim with your tail. And then after you grow your back legs and your tail, then your front legs. So now you kind of can hop. And you still have your tail. Oh, boys, please don't. And then, you still have a little tail, but what happens with your tail? It gets shorter and shorter and shorter, and then you're a big adult frog. And you can really hop. So now can you really hop?
Yeah.
Those are some good hops. That's a good hop too, Jace. Good job. Thanks, guys.
Let's go.